orange, more orange skin. This will be a darker one because it's a weapon, but this is more orange skin. This is a browner, more of a, I guess, more of a tan maybe, but I'm just putting secondary stuff on there right now. All the stuff that's white, I went ahead and left it white because I'm just gonna, I can't remember what I was thinking. I put this up here maybe over 2 years ago. This was blasted up, you know? So I really don't know where I was then. I was just excited to do it, you know? There's a lot of darkness in this one. So, gosh. I'll pull from it if I have to. Sometimes it's pretty watery. The brown is always a nice color to be able to work with because you get to, I get to build off of it slowly. And I'm not gonna really go off on him. I guess I could, but I don't really wanna. I guess I need to show them all kind of the same respect, but I just want to move on from this painting, to tell you the truth. But at the same time, I should probably just enjoy myself where I'm at. Friends, clients, they're always telling me that I should be, like making videos or, making time-lapse videos so people can see some of this stuff. Quickly put together so you can see, so you can watch it be molded, but not have to sit there through the whole process. So I guess for those who like sit through all this stuff and don't just watch the time-lapse ones, I completely understand. Because it's really nice. It's really nice to sit through and listen to the information when I watch some of these artists going off and doing their thing. I kind of feel like the music was too loud. I still practice trying to figure out what's really good about anatomy and just trying to stay attentive to remaining teachable. That concept. Because I don't know, some of this stuff and a lot of this pencil work, as I cut in the lighter colors, it's just gonna dissipate. It's gonna kind of be like the illusion of it was there, and hopefully a lot of that is just going to go away on its own. But what I was saying about studying anatomy and getting more comfortable with how things look. I have a lot of books at the house that I haven't even went through, that I still need to study. You know, anatomy books, books that doctors have about bones and ligaments and the inside, everything that makes up the human body. And some of that stuff is disgusting, about surgeries or an open area, wounds showing back different, you know, like a lot of the insides and layers, and you know, but as far as, you know, getting to know some of this stuff, it's all very helpful. I was watching a video yesterday about this artist, and he didn't speak English, so it was like Kim Jong something, but it was interesting what he was doing. He was imagining, he imagined all of his characters in boxes, and he was able to give it this 3 and 4 and 5 point perspective on all of his drawings, and it was just really nice. I kind of want to try it, just to not just get experience, but practice open-mindedness, you know. Yeah, I don't know what it is about this brown. I think it's just like highly, like, dude, it's just watered down like crazy. So I'm having to, you know, be careful. Can't, you know, if this was a different color, I would already be over here. I would maybe even knock out all of these parts. But because of what's going on with this brown, it's just watered down. So it wants to run and spread. So I'm having to, you know, dry it a little as I go. Some of this brown is getting all over the blue. So, but I actually painted this on with a paintbrush, so I may just go through and soften it up with a top color, like the light blue or the royal blue. We'll see. I'm just not a fan of it looking a lot more rugged than the smoothness. You know, there's a big difference. I can tell a big difference. And I want to be able to have some consistency in the visualization, you know. Yeah, but this old watery brown. I almost believe it comes like this. Like brown might be a hard color to make. I get a lot of my paints from Aquaflow, and I think it's a company in Ohio. But you get the stuff from Hobby Lobbies and Michael's, or just some of these stores where they sell all this craft stuff, and it's just not the right mixture. It's not the best, and you can tell the difference. It gets, you know, like that stuff gets stuck in your equipment. It just makes the job longer, not as it's not as easy or aesthetically pleasing. It's not. You can tell a difference between the paint that you use, even just looking at it. You know, just maybe you can't, but you know, I'm just saying. Maybe, you know, like over time, you're able to see stuff like that. Like sometimes I can put down a certain black, and it'll look so shiny that I could tell it's got a bunch of water in it, or it's not it's jet black and it's not flat black, and so a lot of this stuff comes with experience, yay. But I'm gonna just outline this stuff. This is kind of frustrating me. It's a little frustrating just because it's unpredictable. This stuff, 1 minute it's like it's just got water in it. Goodness gracious. You know, it might even be some of the, maybe it is some of the cheap stuff, but I'm telling you, for the most part, I try not to put anything cheap in this stuff. In my machines, you can just tell a difference, I'm telling you. I probably wouldn't, if I was messing with the cheaper stuff, I'd probably be over here having all kinds of problems with the airbrush. Sometimes too, I visualize, like when I'm doing certain things like this, even this little piece right here, I'm kind of visualizing, not just because of his anatomy, but the little piece of cloth between right here, right here, right here, right here, it's kind of separating them, and in my mind, it's going over like that. So I want it to, you know, each part be kind of beveled. And the more you know, I don't know. I almost believe that I really think that all the stuff that I've just taken time and doing, not knowing if it was right, it was right. It was right on time kind of stuff, because it was like it was practicing. A lot of this stuff was just practicing and learning. You know what I wanted to, where I wanted to be softer, where I wanted to be saturated, what helped. Like just a lot of this stuff has been learning over time. Just the whole not knowing that I'm learning. You know, there's been times where I was just frustrated and just trying to get something done, or it was something a client had wanted, and a customer, you know, and just finishing it up was just a job. And I did not know that all the tedious stuff, all the little, you know, filling in every crevice or giving a shine to every light source or bend, I didn't know I was learning. You know, just like right now, I am straight up learning. I know that. But I wasn't so focused on that kind of stuff when I was younger or growing up doing this stuff, you know? I used to practice singing while I was airbrushing. I used to practice moving while I was airbrushing. I just thought that I was going to get better, and I just wanted to, you know, like getting in weird positions. And if something called for me to be awkwardly positioned, it was just like, okay, focus on my breathing, stay still, try it like with a less tense lower back. Now try it with a less tense shoulders. So like, it just finding the right place to wiggle into when time calls for it. There's a lot of times where I'll be in the groove of everything. I think I'm gonna do red on his skin just because I think it'll be so weird and so different. I'm gonna just blast the red with that yellow. See, you know, almost like give it the fire feel, but not necessarily. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe with a touch of brown. But when I was getting in a lot of those positions and I was learning and kind of like learning difficult ways, just because I would always think, I don't know if this is right or wrong, this is kind of ignorant actually, but I would think that if it was difficult, just like a video game, if I put it on like the hardest setting, I'm gonna learn quick. I don't necessarily think that's true. So, but that was where a lot of my experience has come from. Being uncomfortable and continuing to do something. So a lot of times when I'm in the thick of it and I am just flowing and just going at it, sometimes I'll catch myself, you know, like gravitating towards one way and then knowing that that's not the way to go, so I just go the opposite. Sometimes it's just like kind of dancing, kind of going with the beat, and the artwork is the beat, and then just you know, there's been times where it's just like drop and be comfortable. Okay, I see something now. That's on the inside. I was about to say I thought this should be blue, but we're gonna go ahead and keep that and just let the insides be, you know what I mean? Unless, well, if I put the yellow there, that'll throw that off. So if we just make these, the blue part, it won't throw that off. Because I realized I messed up somewhere. Whether he's got metal over here, like this, sometimes when you have knee stuff, it's, and for the sake of time, I'm not going to fix it. But we're going to roll with it. Roll with the mistake. And I don't know if I'm making any sense, too. Whenever you have knee pads, they go around both ways. They go around both sides. But since this side is hidden, it kind of gives the illusion that this side is correct, because that's the only side that you can see, the outside of the knee pads. So it's a part of it, you know. Part of the boys of riches. Oh, can't stand the water in this thing. It's real easy to get kind of locked and loaded in what I like. And for the most part, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. This is just stuff that I like doing, like superhero stuff, comic book stuff. That's just stuff I like doing. But a lot of times, I'll catch myself getting locked and loaded on what I'll watch, like the content of the videos I watch. When, for the most part, you can learn from everybody. Even things you don't want to do. Sometimes when I'm watching videos about artists on YouTube, I'll just kind of let them things flow. Things that have helped me focusing have been like B12. I take B12 every day. And I don't know what it was. I might have been watching some type of vegan show, and one of these guys was talking about B12, and because something about it was one of the things that you don't get on a plant-based diet. So I ended up just messing with it, And from the very first day I started messing with B12, I could just tell something was going on in my mind. It was just different. I did not know what it was. Like, it was almost like I could focus better. So yeah, so like this is going to be questionable at the most, because it looks like I messed up. I messed up again. Yay. So, whatever. And that, again, that's a lot of sometimes when I'm pulling from other people's artwork, that's going to be a problem. You know, like, fine tuning it where I think it needs to be. When it's not my artwork, I need to just be focusing on what I'm doing. Leave some of that stuff alone, you know. I could have just made all that gold, but kind of being a little hard-headed here. Yeah, since I'm over here, I could feel it in my back. It's a little stressful, so I could either move or just wait till I get there, you know? And I guess if I was to move, I would probably just do like bend my knees, of course. Very helpful. Or you know, if I was on the ground, I would hit my knees, but yeah, I'm not gonna mess with that. Yeah, see, this stuff is so watery. Gosh, I'm just gonna have to do a little bit at a time. Come back but it might just be the best thing for me too, because it'll give me a chance to look at things. You know, oh, maybe I just need to leave it like that. Maybe this is better like this, or it seems like if I just surrender to where I'm at in the process of this piece of art, then I can be molded and kind of used like I need to be used on this thing. It was my daughter's bedtime last night, and it was like 10 o'clock, and we're gonna have to get up at like 6:30, and I'm just thinking, or 7, and I'm thinking, you know, it's time to go to bed, and my daughter's like, can I draw? And I was just like, yeah, go ahead. You know, a lot of times I want what's best for her, and I don't want to I don't want to interfere in her process, you know? But at the same time, sometimes it's really nice to just let them, you know, draw and find their own way. You know, there was this video I was watching, and this gentleman was talking about putting out like something new for his child all the time, like new art supplies, new pencils, new you know, introducing them regularly to, that's what I could have done. I didn't even think about it. I have these 2 chairs. I could just be, instead of having to be central, I could, you know, operate a little more freely, you know, and have a little more comfort. So using my surroundings to my advantage, that's a, you know, I kind of gotta be more aware of that more often, because I'll just forget about everything. You're gonna see what I mean. Whenever I start touching the other colors, they're just gonna be, you know, I'm just gonna be blasting through this stuff. It's gonna be a big difference. I mean, in time and maybe even the information, because I'm sitting here thinking more and more, you know, about like, dude, all, you know, like that's because of the water. That's because of the water. Leave it alone. That's just, you're not doing anything wrong, you know. And throughout the years, I would be getting so upset just because I would think to myself, this is definitely something I'm doing wrong, you know, and not having a complete and accurate understanding of myself. So I was always like beating myself up and holding it against myself, because like I was what was wrong, when sometimes it has to do with the machine, when it has to do with the equipment. You know, because I'm sitting here, I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing all right, whatever. I'm doing all right for messing with this janky, and it might not even be janky. Like I said, brown might be one of those colors that is just so hard to mix. But yeah, I wish I could move a lot quicker with this thing, and like when I do, it just splatters. See? So, gosh. So I'm just gonna have to take it slow, and hopefully it's entertaining enough, or maybe tell a good story or something, you know. I remember going to a comic book convention, and I was really trying to find my own, you know. I was like freshly tattooing. I had my little business going, a little airbrush business, and I'm like inspired, always messing with art, and I went and took all these comic books, you know, like a lot of my comic book art, to conventions, and you know, it's intimidating, and this one guy, you know, I was watching some videos, and Mark Silvestri, he's a very good artist in the comic book industry, and he was just like, you know, like, it might have even been in a book, because I have a book of his, so it might have been in his book, but he said something about, you know, like, be sure, you know, like, be prepared to be criticized. And so I went in there, and I was just like, man, I'm ready to be torn off the bone. Not really, but I was just like, you know, don't get your feelings hurt right now, because this is going to happen, and it's going to be helpful. And so I think the first artist, his name was Brian Stillfreeze. It's crazy I can remember all this stuff. Thank God. Brian Stillfreeze, this black gentleman, and he was just like in the middle of like 20 or 25 artists lined up. They were all, you know, artists. There's vendor tables, merchandise, you know, specialty items, and then they had artist tables, and they were just all around. And there was this one line of artist tables, and I went over there, and I was just like showing him my artwork, and I was, you know, I waited in line, and then I showed him my artwork, and, you know, like, you know, just thank God for this dude and his compassion and his experience. He stood up when he seen some of my artwork. He stood up, and not to say that it was good, but he seen some of the stuff, and he stood up and he talked to me for like 25 minutes while there were just lines of people everywhere. And he gave me some suggestions. And thank God for it. He said to me, it's amazing that you can do this, but you've missed some of the basic stuff. Start practicing drawing people, just the figures of them. Do 5 minutes, sketches of their bodies, and then you get a little more comfortable, do 2 minutes, and then when you get real comfortable, do 30 seconds. So this guy laced me up with that information, fanning it out here. So this guy laced me up with that information, and then I went home, and I remember being in this tattoo shop. It was called Alpha Ink. It was just kind of a mess, straight up. And I was just paying my dues, like getting in different shops and just reaching for anything. This guy was opening up a shop, and he wasn't an artist, but he knew an artist, and there's just a lot of stuff that I just people pricing tattoos who aren't artists, and then sending, and then the artist doing it. It's just like, get out of here with that. That I didn't have experience to combat that, so I didn't know, and it just bothered me even then. However, I was in this tattoo shop, no one was coming in, and it was just a horrible location. It wasn't gonna last long. You could just tell right out the gate. And I ended up drawing, just not tattooing, just drawing all this comic book stuff. And when I went and showed my artwork to my family, they asked who did it. And I was just, from that moment, I was just like, oh, I didn't even know that was different. You know what? I'm feeling like putting some orange on that skin in before I put the red. Gosh, it would be so much quicker to just blast red on there. And it'd probably be tight anyways, but let's follow my gut and see what happens. Because right now, it seems like my mind is working. So I'm just trying to trust it. My mom actually got a job opportunity working for Six Flags in the 80s. Dude, I can't remember. It might have been, yeah, she was pregnant with me. I'm 38 years old. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of these airbrushes are still the ones that were hand-me-downs from when my mom was introduced to airbrushing in the 80s. And she ended up, I'm trying to find a back for this. Sometimes it's very uncomfortable for my hands not to have something to hold on to. And that's kind of where these come in. See, it might not seem like it, but not having a brace back there, it hurts my hand. And I could go for hours and days. But if that's there, if that's not there, it's kind of a mess. Anyway, my mom was, she didn't even know how to airbrush, didn't know anything about the airbrush. Take your time. If you get opportunities to sit down, take them. If you get opportunities to rest while you're doing this stuff, take it. I don't know. I don't know if this is a good idea. I'm going to commit, though. I'm going to commit to the color. Add orange, add red, commit to it. My mom thought she was going to go to Six Flags to do some character drawings. You know how people will do the drawings at Six Flags or at amusement parks, and they're doing little funny pictures of the people. That's kind of what she thought she was going to do. they gave her an airbrush and told her to learn. And if it wasn't for stuff like that, you know, just I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing, and I wouldn't have her experience to pull off of. I believe that people can learn. I believe I can show people stuff that they will not be able to learn in years, even of just years of doing it, because of my experience. But I also believe that I can show somebody something and they can pick it up without having to wait 20 or 10 or 15 or 2 years. And, you know, like I just believe how powerful information is. And I definitely try and give it away as much as I can. Sometimes when people come in here and they want to learn how to tattoo, I really try not to apprentice people, but I am not closed-minded thinking they're going to get my business. They're going to keep me from working. I'm not there. Sometimes if this is moving a little at all, if it's like giving, I always try to, you know, make sure the needle is not crammed up with, you know, paint. Something was going on, I could tell. Yeah. I almost feel like this orange is going to make this fool look like a cartoon more than anything. So I made a mistake. This orange is kind of watery. Not too much though. Not like that brown. Goodness gracious. The brown was juicy. So from that moment, whenever she started having to mess with the airbrush at Six Flags, she kind of just followed that and pursued it. Ended up working and, you know, being just this hot artist in the mall. And most people don't have their own business who are airbrush artists. I'm just saying, out here in the country, goodness gracious, it's not happening. And she's been, you know, people come to her all over the country, from all over the country. Because she's kind of like, man, I don't know too many people who can get down on megaphones like her. A lot of these cheerleading outfits, or not outfits, but a lot of these cheerleading organizations and schools from other states, you know, she's always, every year she's getting these people coming to her because nobody does it like her. Nobody, I mean, maybe somewhere, but she just got so much experience at how to make them durable and how to watch out for things. Like when she was showing me some stuff that she was doing on some of these megaphones, she was, if you hit a megaphone, it's circular, and when you hit it, paint goes around it. It just, because of it's almost like a suction. It creates a suction, so paint just goes around it. And she has little tricks on how not to make the paint go around it, and you know, little things that she's learned along the way. And she doesn't necessarily like people knowing little things, but I mean, to each their own. You know, I'm sure she would let me know, but I don't know, man, there's just so much work that goes into painting megaphones. It's not attractive to me. But there's good money in it too, though. Goodness gracious. Some of the megaphones are going like $300 because she'll paint the inside and make it look like tracks are going up, you know, like tall tracks are going all the way up in the inside. And a lot of that stuff is time and effort and just, you know, there's just a lot. Yeah, this guy's orange, I'm not feeling it now. I think it's gonna be an eyesore. Let's see what happens. All right. And you know what? I probably should have used the red in the jump just because it would have, I could have just blasted through this thing so quick. I might not even use red. I may come back and mess around and use, you know, use brown over this to cancel out some of that orange. Sometimes when I'm doing stuff like this, I catch my mind pulling from comic books. I know I've said this before, but it's just pretty wild how that happens. How, yeah, this is acting up now. That's wonderful. Yeah, and part of me wants to just quit. Because it's like, oh, you made a mistake with the orange. Just turn it off and start over. But I said, made the commitment to go ahead and follow through with it. So we'll see what's up. And sometimes when I make mistakes, it gets hot. I am getting hot. Goodness gracious. But it's just, you know, I'm actually looking at this thinking, dude, whatever I decide to do, this orange is gonna help out a lot. Because I'm basically getting to lightly put stuff down. Yeah. Matter of fact, I don't want to mess with this orange no more. So let's just get through this real quick. Ugh. I'll show you what I'm talking about moving. I felt like I needed just one more step out. I wish I had something that just went up and down, so so it'd be easier for me. Somewhere along the way, I made a decision to be messy, and I'm already feeling more comfortable with this than that. But it was because I made the decision to just be messy. I don't want to risk breathing that stuff in. But I also don't want to miss out on. But I also don't want to not be able to be heard clearly. And I think that will happen if I put on my super duper mask. It might be more visible being far away to y'all, but a lot of this stuff is it's kind of hard to see what's going on in front of me. See, I wanted to move the chair without coming down but I just don't want to be lazy. Sometimes I'm lazy when it comes to stuff like that. This is going to be fun to do, whatever this is. Because it's going to be beveled. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm gonna be able to have an arch, almost like a walkway. This is the walkway. This part is getting hit by the light more than anything, even though this side is faced up. Whatever. There's parts of the anatomy that I still struggle with, big time, like big time. I'm not comfortable with abs. I'm not comfortable with legs and hands. Sometimes I can land them good enough to make you think that I did something, but you know, overall, sometimes that stuff is just not my cup of tea. I'm pretty good with arms, I guess. Sometimes faces are okay. Faces are difficult sometimes for me, you know? When I first started doing tattoos, I stayed away from color work. I was just terrified of it. And people used to encourage me to mess with it because of my experience with, you know, because the things they would say to me about airbrushing. Oh, you know, oh, this guy can tattoo. Look at this, and I couldn't really tattoo. And now, like I practice a lot of color tattoos, and I just, oh my goodness, I just love doing color tattoos. But I used to just be so terrified of them. I'll tell you what. And I want to say it took a few of them, you know, like doing some of them before I could even get comfortable with it. Don't know what's going on there. I tell you, the main reason I went to go put this on my face to get a better mask, Of course, it was so that I wouldn't breathe in the, you know. But when I was blasting that orange, I started smelling it strongly. Like I said, non-toxic, water-based, you're safe. But after years of doing this stuff, and you know, like my sleep apnea, different things I've had to deal with in the past, and you know, I just try to take care of my lungs a little more, man. I used to smoke so much that I coughed up, you know, blood, and you know, every day, every time, you know, like I remember doing that for like a year and a half. Every time I shower, I'd be spitting up blood, and I just made the decision, you know, I wanted to live a little better, and kind of quit messing with all that stuff. And then slowly but surely, I started messing with less things that were not good for me. You know, like I stopped drinking coffee. I stopped staying up late, knowing I was needing to be up the next day. You know, little things, but they make all the difference in the world. I'm not always running around needing to go to sleep. I'm not always not, you know, kind of driving tired and like, oh, I gotta stay up. I gotta find some kind of way to stay up. And you know, I learned a lot of good things, you know, because I stopped messing with coffee, so I would start staying up with, you know, I just don't like messing with energy drinks whatsoever. I don't believe in them. And I would start messing. I heard someone, I don't know if it was a friend or what. Ugh, so much water in this orange. But someone said something about sunflower seeds and Dr. Pepper, sunflower seeds and Coke. So I started messing with those, and I started finding out little, you know, ways that weren't as unhealthy. They were kind of unhealthy. You know, Dr. Pepper's not the best, but I ended up learning different ways to stay awake. And so, you know, it was getting good experience and helpful stuff. But nowadays, it's like, if I catch myself tired on the road, there's nothing wrong with pulling over. You're going to get wherever you're going to get when it's time, you know? I used to think that I was always missing something, or I was going to miss something. You know, just not, I guess just not comfortable in my own skin. That makes a lot of sense, you know. This orange is a mess. And that could be it too. It's got a different tip than all the other ones. It's got a deeper cone, which for some airbrushes, that pulls a lot. Let's go ahead and trade it out, see what happens. Nothing, watch. This is a shorter cone, not as deep, I think. No, exact same one. Ugh. I want to say some of these are like more aerodynamic, you know, like this one. Here we go. This one might do the job. We'll see. I'm backing off the nozzle like I was doing with the black, like kind of keeping it from being so nudged on there. But it's still, I was still having problems with it, really bad. Yeah, see, there's something stuck in there or something. Oh, and I don't want to mess with it right now. I'm in the middle of this. Let's just blast this thing, whatever. None of this stuff is prominent none of this stuff is going to be the dominating color. But that is very frustrating. Sometimes I have to chill out though, because I'll mess around and make it to where it backfires because I'm so frustrated. I almost did just now. Yeah, these chairs are so tall that if I try and get off of them to get lower, I'm not going to be tall enough. So, I know I'm just kind of blasting through it now, but I pretty much know what I'm doing with the orange. The orange is just, it's going to add like a, I don't want to say a primer, but it's going to help with layering. Whatever is next, ew, it's so potent too, I can smell it. Ugh. But whatever is next, it's just going to be helped out by what this orange is doing right now. Yeah, I'm just gonna make this gold. I'm not trying to mess with all that. I just want to use this. I just want to use this orange as least as I can now. And it could be a mixture of things too. It could be the fact that it wasn't shaken up properly. Like I didn't shake it up really good. That could be it. And you know, that's such an easy fix, but I just don't want to mess with it. The tag of this shirt is all in my mouth. Ugh. All right, let's see what happens. I don't necessarily believe I wanted to airbrush when I was learning, or it was a factor in why I learned. I think a lot of it was just irresponsibility. You know, I did not want to work for anybody, not wanting to have to clock in, or you know, I think the first week after I learned how to airbrush, my mom was already doing like sports competitions. You know, she was doing all these gigs. Gosh, I don't know how to. I don't want to get any higher on this. Ugh. So a lot of this might be very out of my comfort zone, you know, until I can figure out a better way to, yeah, whatever. So my mom was already doing, you know, sports competitions, basketball tournaments, volleyball tournaments, cheerleading events, stuff like that, and so I knew about the little gig she had going on, and I was asking her one day, you know, is there anything I could do? I learned, you know, I'm kind of picking up some of this stuff, and she was like, you know, yeah, you can go here. She sent me to a basketball tournament. Oh, this is so uncomfortable. And the thing about uncomfortable stuff though is like it wears me out quickly. Like after this, I'm not gonna want to do a lot more, just because I think as an artist, it's so easy to get locked in and not really feel what's going on, because I'm in the zone. You know, I'm not necessarily thinking about the pain my back is feeling, or what all muscles are working. You know, like this, what I just did, that affected my whole back. So by the time I'm up here, I'm not going to be feeling it. I'm not going to be like, man, this is wonderful, but yeah, I'm done. And I still have to work today, so I don't want to exhaust myself too much. But golly, this stuff is so fun. And you know, like once I get done adding a color, I want to see where the next color is going to go. I want to see how the next color is going to complement this orange. You know what I mean? Like, I want to experience more. So I may, you know, shut it down. I may not. I'll tell you what though, it's exhausting. Yeah. Like I said, I don't want to, you know, like rush it either. I kind of got lost and forgot what I was talking about. Talking about my weenie back. Yeah, well, think about it. If I'm going to come through and do more on this stuff, yeah, it's going to be exhausting. Yeah, I don't want to, you know, destroy myself before I have to do the back piece, or being in an uncomfortable position while working. Some of this, I'm going right over the lines, but I could always come back with white and, you know. Oh, we got a hand. Let's see. Ugh. I guess that's not too bad. I guess you can do this as well when you're tattooing, but on the airbrush, I'm kind of given a lot of free reign to kind of do what I want, you know? And add stuff as you see it. Like of course, you can do this stuff while you're tattooing as well, but it's pretty easy to stick to the script when it comes to tattooing. Yeah, whatever. Ugh. The black. Let's see what's up with that. Long video. Oh. It's pretty amazing how you can just invite people into your world like this and, you know, put it all over the internet. It's crazy. Sometimes these poses get mixed up, trapped within one another. I used to just pull them out and pull up other ones. Gosh, yeah. You know what? I'm not even gonna put blue on those. I'm just gonna see what I can do. Because normally when I see blue stuff like that, the first thing I'll do is add blues, and you know, I already know I'm gonna make it shiny. But I'm just gonna add, you know, this black, make it look try to make it look rough. And then I'm sure I can come back with white and add, well, you know, shade where I want to. Oh yeah, look at this. Oh. There's nothing in there that's telling me what to do. That's wonderful, but it's also at the same time not, you know? See, whenever I lay down like shines and stuff, I have to contemplate where the white's gonna be. Where am I gonna want to shine the most, you know? Yeah, I think sometimes black is like my best friend. I sound like Bob Ross. He's tripping sometimes. Yeah, sometimes black is just the one to unite them all, kind of, you know? It's almost like having a nice little black piece in you know, in an area is, it's almost like a saving grace, you know? Because it's kind of showing us to, you know, what we're oh, Mr. Thing knows. It kind of shows us what we're striving for. We want clarity. We want to be able to bring a message and carry a clear information. And sometimes black is the way to do it. Unless you're just going for another kind of touch or feel or art, you know. But I'm just making it like there's going to be some shine coming up. Not so much on this side because it's on the inside of that leg, but over here, boom, you know. And this is just really, I hate to say it, but this is just like cheap comic book shine, you know. Great filler in the moment, you know, like in the groove, going fast, great filler, you know. But it's definitely not very artistic. There's just so much, you know, golly. I've done some before and it was just like making it look like straight metal. And this is more of a soft shine, you know, like nothing serious. But to other people, they might think that that's amazing. Nice. I'm trying to think of one of the last movies that got me inspired to draw, or you know what? I think it was Free Guy. Funny enough, I think that movie inspired me to write a story or something. You know, sometimes it's nice to watch a movie or a documentary or you know, these little YouTube videos, really nice hits sometimes on inspiration and you know, motivating us to kind of get out of our comfort zone, motivating us to try something different, try something new. I definitely think it's a good idea to do something you've never done every day. Do something you don't do every day, something new. I think that's been something that's been helping me a lot lately is, just try something new. Because it's almost like breaking the mold, you know, like getting a little more comfortable with uncomfortability. Oh, what is that? Yeah, there must be black somewhere. the little art programs around here in this town are janky, and you know, it's there's just nowhere for people to get information, or there's just not a lot of. I mean, I guess you could mess with the colleges, of course. Yeah, it's always good to mess with college. It was suggested to me, what better way to you know, to go in, kind of go in debt than to get, you know, further your education. So that kind of inspired me to, okay, I'll spend the money, I'll go to college, whatever. I did it, it was a good deal. But, you know, not that people can't afford stuff like that, but art you shouldn't have to pay for it. Golly, I don't know. That's just how I feel about some of this stuff. You shouldn't have to pay for some of this stuff, especially when it's so hard to come by. Like the cities out here are just like football and just, there's nothing wrong with football, but for like me, when I was growing up, I didn't have stuff like I didn't have interest in that whatsoever. Matter of fact, I was, you know, didn't want anything to do with football because everybody did it, and I just didn't want to be touched. I didn't want to touch other people. Straight up, I just wanted to do some artwork, and I ended up just following my heart with all this stuff. See, this one too is like. I don't know, for some people this is all they got, you know? I mean, you can go and do your 9 to 5 anywhere. You know, people are gonna do it, you know? But it just doesn't seem like it should be something that people don't have an option about. Out here, it's not really an option. You can't really mess with it unless you're, you know, like unless you're getting into tattooing. There's a lot of tattooing out here. Golly, I don't know what it is. But unless you're trying to get into tattooing, or I don't know. I don't see a lot of people successfully making it out here that are artists, unless they're tattooing. But that might just because it's the circle I'm in. And I don't even really mess with tattoo artists. So. I liked video games when I was growing up too, but it's not a really, realistically, it doesn't seem like there would be any type of future in that. You know, I mean, I guess you could get into that stuff, but yeah, I don't see a future in some of that stuff. Let's see what happens. Yeah, this is a little uncomfortable. I'll spread my legs a little. Oh. You know, just to bring me down some. Yeah, I have metal in my left knee, so I'm definitely feeling it, bro. Ugh. Painful. Yeah, I'm sweating. Sometimes I try to come up here and do my little thing and have to go home and shower. Years of practicing things. I think some of the first stuff I ever learned was doing a lot of circles at a basketball tournament, because I'd have to do basketballs. Oh my god, I'd have to just paint basketballs all the time. Good lord. Yeah, now I'm thankful. Alright, brother, come here. Oh goodness. I'll just clean that up later. I just don't want to add it in right now. Just want to knock this out, be done with it for today. This ought to be pretty cool. It actually looks like it's turning out pretty good so far. I don't know. Kind of wish I could go a lot quicker so you wouldn't have to watch so much, but I'm also going to put out a little, I don't know, I try to put out a video time lapse and one that's not, so that you don't have to go through, you don't have to sit around and watch this stuff unless you want to. But sometimes I don't know, whenever seems like sometimes the information is just as important as, and maybe even more important sometimes, you know? We have a tendency as artists to just kind of bash ourselves over the head with ourselves, and kind of like a blessing and a curse. This wasn't in the plans, but I'm trying to make it kind of like his armor's gonna go like kind of wavy. I don't know necessarily if it's gonna work out, but you know, the closer it gets to the edge, the less it's going to be, you know. I had another video, but I don't know what happened to it. I was finishing Proxima Midnight, the outline, and something happened to it. Just wasn't working. I don't know if you can tell, but because I did not add a blue or something on top of this blue, it's kind of going, it's not smooth like the other ones. Kind of wonder how the end's going to turn out over there. That weapon of his. Oh yeah, thank goodness for the white. Our little friend. H.R. Geiger used to just freestyle, not even draw stuff up, just freestyle. The gentleman who created the xenomorph from Alien, he used to just go hard. Goodness gracious. Just freestyling black on white. And I can understand why, because it's just, sometimes it's just so nice. Oh, look at all this, got white sun. I got white sun. I forget a lot of things until I'm tattooing or airbrushing. I forget a lot of things about art, a lot of things about my experience. I was just watching where the mist went, and I was thinking about focusing on the tip of the airbrush needle, and how that's just something that I've done and ended up making really fancy, designs, really nice overall turnout. Almost kind of like I am the tip of the needle, you know. Yeah, it's kind of a relief to be done with this section of it. And I tell you what, I've gotten a lot further on this thing in the last 4 months than I have in 3 years. It seems so. I mean, definitely 2 years. There was about an 18-month period where I was not working on anything but work. You know, none of this leisurely stuff.